If we're going to try and deliver projects at pace and scalable and integrated and quality and within all sorts of tolerances in order to innovate and meet the needs of the current and the future, then we need to know the standards and the delivery and the background and the achievements of project and program managers that we're talking to. That's one of the reasons that certification matters. Certification does give us a generally common language, no matter whether you're doing your PRINCE2 certification, your PMP, your Agile PM, your project office, your portfolio and program management certifications. What you do when you do certification is you demonstrate your own commitment to the profession, you demonstrate your commitment to your personal growth, you demonstrate to people that you're serious. You put yourself in a place where you may be considered for additional responsibility, for promotion, for movement to a different department, or you may be looking to move to a different company. And when you've been looking at ads, you see the need for certification. It matters. And part of it is also that it can motivate you. I have to assume that several of these reasons are the reason that you have selected to enroll on this course. So what we're going to do is look at the basic framework of PRINCE2. This is not a course to get you to pass your exams or to convince you to certify or to give you a lot of detail on how to manage a project, but it's to look at the 7 principles, the 7 themes, and the 7 processes in a way that makes it all very clear, very simple, in ways that the manual doesn't necessarily do, or when you hear people talking about it, it doesn't all hang together. But this will enable you to do that, to have the conversations and have it hang together. As we're starting into the course, again, let's just think for a moment about the PRINCE2 manual goes from the beginning being principles of theory, and then themes of theory, and then processes with names that don't make sense to you and sound like you have to learn a whole new language. Whereas I think about starting with processes, because you already understand the processes, the phases in a project, the life cycle. You've just called them something else. Probably you know them as initiation and planning and executing and monitoring and controlling and closing off a project. And if you started processes in PRINCE2, you're just understanding that they call them something different, and they add in a couple of checks and balances or different focus that isn't in the method or the life cycle that you have learned by osmosis or by studying it. If you understand then what the process is, the flow of a PRINCE2 project, then you get to think about what are the themes that run throughout that project. What are the activities and the knowledge and the practices that you apply throughout a project that brings about its success? Those are the themes, and below that, the bedrock or the foundation of this house that you have built is the principles. These practices and ways of working and thinking that you know from experience are trademarks of successful project managers. If I ask you to write down some of those principles without looking at the manual, you might come up with 10 or 11 that you think are really important foundations. And then if you come and look at the PRINCE2, you might find your PRINCE2 7 amongst your 10 or 11. And so it's much easier for you to remember these 7 principles in the context